Hello, this is Star, and welcome to my pandemic series. So, well, I went for a walk and had a big old cry, and that felt really good to do. Much needed. I came back and I found this lovely disco ball. I don't know if you can see it, it's up in the corner now, but I had it as part of an art piece, and I picked it up and I cut my finger. It looks worse than it is. It's actually a little cut, but it's just sort of bleeding a lot. Anyways, it reminded me that I wanted to do a quick talk on how you can fix really big cuts without having to go to the hospital and stuff. And it's something I also have experience with. This is a tiny thing, so don't worry about me. I'm actually making art with it. But anyways, blood, our life force. What am I trying to tell you? Okay, so if you have a gaping wound and you're like, oh my god, I need to go get stitches, and you're like, fuck, I don't want to go to the hospital, I'm scared, which you should be. It's relatively easy to fix if you have super glue and or duct tape. Super glue, from what I understand, was originally developed for brain surgery, and I have an ex-partner who was a nomadic fisherman, and he would cut himself like quite severely, and he's healed some amazing things with duct tape when nobody's around and you're in the middle of the sea. If you are, I have used super glue before. Actually, I've even preferred it over stitches when I had the option, because stitches leave like little marks and then you have to wait and then they itch and all this stuff. And then when they heal, you end up with this crazy scar. Super glue, if it's a pure kind, I think I read that it can also sterilize the area. Of course, you want to let it bleed. Like, this is good. It looks terrible, but look, it's not. It's just like a little cut. But you want to let it bleed because you want to flush out like all whatever's in there. That's the best if you can bleed it out. If you can't bleed it out, I guess make sure there's no glass, or I don't know, whatever you ended up hurting yourself with, make sure there's nothing left in there. If you have clean water, I just took a Red Cross workshop actually 2 weeks ago, and they said here in the Netherlands that the water's so clean we can wash it, or just rinse it under the water and flush and flush and flush. And then all you have to do, after you've made sure it's clean and then dry, if you're able to stop the bleeding, just put the super glue on the inside of the cut and then just hold it together and then wish it for it to get better. And then don't move. Just like let it dry. And then at some point, don't stick your fingers to it. Make sure your fingers aren't in the super glue, but around it. And after it sort of dried, I would put like another strip on the outside and then let that dry. And the nice thing about that as well is you don't necessarily need to put a Band-Aid on it or anything. And if you do it really well, you don't even end up with a scar, or you end up with like the tiniest hairline of a scar. So I would suggest doing something like that. See, it's almost better. It's just like a tiny little thing. But yeah, concerning the duct tape too, I mean, if it is actually not stopping to bleed, before you do anything, just put pressure on that wound for however long. Eventually some kind of blood should start coagulating on the outside. Putting pressure on your wound should at some point stop the bleeding. And if not, and you're not going to be able to get super glue on it at this time, and you have some duct tape, well, ideally you have like maybe some clean first aid thing to put over the wound, and then you can use the duct tape to sort of pull the skin together and just leave it the fuck alone. I don't know for how long. Maybe there's a YouTube video about it. Use your intuition. A long time. I mean, you don't want it to fester or get like nasty under there, but you also don't want to take it off too soon. I don't have experience with duct tape, so please, these are just ideas, and I'm not I'm not a doctor. I'm just like, what did my friend call me? A life hack? Okay. I guess. I don't know. What is a life hack? Sounds nice, especially in these days. That's it. Okay. Don't want to take too much time. Have a good day. Don't bleed too much.